Hello all, welcome to Hack Check Studios. RT Bear here, and I am going to hang out with you for a little bit, and I am going to work on page 58 of Chrono Mechanics. That's right, 58, you guys, 58. That means there's only two more pages to this issue, and the breakdowns on page 59 are done. Well, the layouts on both those last two pages are done. And the breakdowns on 59 are done. Render and I went over those last night, and they met final improvement. Improvement. They met with approve. How do you say that? I approved them, I guess would be a better way to say that. And yeah, so that's what I'll be working on once I get done with page 58, which I'm going to show you right now. Let's go. Where is it? There we go. All right, so this is page 58, you guys, and so I'm going to work an hour or so on this and hang out with you guys in the chat. So in the chat we have gaming or what? Trademark. Smart man, always trademark. How are you, brother? We have Victor Thomas. Hey, Art, how are you? Hey, Victor. I borrow ideas, a.k.a. steal them. I'm not judging. How are you, brother? So, we got Arch Geek. What's up, brother man? So, Gaming or What says, I got the art paints I bought from you. They didn't come. Oh, art prints. They didn't come signed. What? I'll run that by my wife Pamela. She sent those out. I remember signing some prints. So, and I remember telling her that they were to be signed. So I did sign some. So I'll look into that. So actually, if you could send me an email, message me through the site, and then I'll know your real name and all that and how to get in contact with you, and we'll work something out. So thanks for bringing that to my attention. Sorry about that. My art paints. I'll work on that, brother. Don't worry about it. Central Scrutinizer. Howdy, folks. All right. Well, I got a lot of work to do, so I'm going to get on this. So I will be inking with my weapon of choice today, which is a Hunt 102. I got my ink clothes on. Look at this. So sometimes I'll just get I work fast, so I'll just wipe the ink on my sleeve. That's how dedicated I am, you guys. So dedicated. I'm going to ink this time ship. There's a couple spoilers on this page, but I think that's okay. So yeah, this is the Chrono Mechanics time ship. And this enables them to travel through time. It's kind of like their time machine, their DeLorean. So the Chrono Mechanics work for Chrono Incorporated, and Chrono Incorporated has some of the coolest work tools ever. So the way I look at the work tools, the Chrono work tools, is it's like that company cat that makes all the earth movers and cranes and bulldozers and all that stuff, that they're like that. Like Chrono Inc.'s tools are like that, but like times a billion. So everything is on steroids. And that's another reason why the Chrono Mechanics have to change form, because everything in this world, in the Chrono Mechanics universe, is so heightened. It's crazy. Yeah. So I also have something. I didn't prepare it actually. I'll have to do it on the fly, but it's a little Valentine's Day thing. See, this is what happens, you guys, when you're not paying attention. I smooched. I gave it a smooching. So I think that's the hardest thing, even for somebody who's been inking as long as me, to keep your hand out of things. Yeah. You gotta move your hand in such a fashion that you don't stick it back in the wet ink. So I hope everyone's well. Hope everyone's doing good. It's been a while. I haven't been on YouTube that much lately. I think last week I only did 2 shows or do 2 live streams. And other than typing in the chat, I don't think I went on anybody's show. I just really need to get this book done for you guys so I can get it to the printers. I had a really good conversation with Adam Post last night, and we were talking about printing, and I was going to go with Print Ninja. I still might actually, but he made a pretty convincing argument not to use any like Chinese or like printing, not for any other reason than that coronavirus, and that it could possibly take you longer to get your books. It could get hung up in customs, and because I'm sure they're doing some major checks, so there's going to be a lot of delays. So anybody who's thinking of going with China right now or is printing with China, be patient, because it might take you a while to get your books, and that's unfortunate. My heart goes out to everybody that's being affected by that. It's pretty amazing when you think this day and age that we could have like a Black Plague type of idea, because we always think that we're so slick and we've conquered, all that stuff with modern science, and then stuff like this happens and it just reminds you how freaking at nature's, beck and call you are. It's pretty scary. You know what? I'm going to see if I can use a curve or a tool on this, because these are some long strokes and I just want to make sure the structure is good. Sometimes if you freehand things too much, you lose the structure of what it is. So what I do with the Chrono style is, if there's a problem like that, I'll draw it first with the tool, and then I'll come back in. I had to thicken this line up anyway, so then I'll come in and make it look organic, so it has that same feel as the rest of it. There is a method to my madness. Oh, and it is mad. It is very mad. So are you guys all set up for Valentine's? Hopefully you all have somebody in your life, a special someone that you're going to spend the day with. I've been talking to my wife about doing a Valentine's Day live stream, and she actually said yes. So the first hurdle has been overcome. Now we'll see if it actually happens. But I thought it would be fun And we could talk about how he met and all the other good stuff. It might be fun. You might get to learn more than you wanted to learn about me. But it could be fun. Life's too short. Have fun. All right, now I'm getting into wet ink territory, and I don't know what to ink next. That's another benefit. Like if you use a brush, brush ink usually dries quicker because for some reason it doesn't put down as much of a saturated line as a nib does. So the nib will kind of take long, like an ink line by a nib will take longer to dry than one that was inked with a brush. Once again, it really depends on how much ink you're throwing down with the brush, but like these type of lines, they dry quicker with the brush. And I'm gonna move into another area because I needed to use another curve and I don't trust that area. So I'm gonna structure in these faces a bit. And these are larger scale, so the ink line needs to be thicker. So usually the bigger the object is in a panel, or if it's like a big type of, like if it's the Hulk or something like that, you usually ink it with a thicker line. And I rotate the paper, one, just to get my hand in the right position, and two, so I can keep my hand out of wet ink, because that, as you saw earlier, is an issue. So and this nib that I'm using right now is really, really well worn. So the tip is pretty much gone. So it's pretty good for these type of outlines, thicker outlines. Almost forgot his neck. I think I'm gonna bring the neck in a little bit more. So there's that. I'm gonna ink one more line and then I'm gonna go back over that ship. Ships ahoy. My poor cat. Well, our cat is at the vet right now, so Amanda and my wife are taking care of little Momo. We've had him for like 9 years. So he's scratching a lot at his ear, so the women think that maybe he has an ear infection, so I hope he's okay. He's really Amanda's cat. I got him for her, and when she was, God, if it was 9 years ago, 10 years ago, she was like 12 or 13, and she loves the heck out of that cat. So I hope he's okay. Yeah, I think he was in a photograph when I was showing some of the books going out. I think he made it into one of the photographs. Grabbing a tool here. This doesn't look like it's matching up. And it's not. So always draw through things so you can find the line. So this is like a cargo cartridge. So this is the main ship right here with the engines. And so this is kind of like the old video game cartridges that plug into the back. And then all the tools and all the big trucks and things, the transport that they need are all in this. So it's kind of like the old Thunderbirds. I wish I had Kevin in the chat because Kevin knows the Thunderbird numbers. But there was a Thunderbird that was a transport Thunderbirds. If you guys haven't seen the Thunderbirds, it's an old like super marionation show for kids. And when I was a young kid, I absolutely loved that show. And there was a family of adventurers, and they lived on an island. And there was, I gotta make this curve more. And they're all brothers. And then the operation is run by the dad. And they just basically are do-gooders. And if there's any kind of like crisis in the world, they go and they help people. It's actually kind of a neat idea. It's really simple, and in today's society, probably, cynical. They go, no one would do that. That's whatever. But I like stuff like that, where it's just people doing good just to do good. And so that's what that show was. And man, I'll tell you, it had like all these miniature effects and stuff in it. It was pretty interesting. There's some documentaries out there on it, and they're pretty awesome. I think that guy later ended up producing some TV as well, and all those Industrial Light and Magic guys, at the very beginning, they all credit that show. Like they were raised on that show, and they thought it was amazing because there were ships blowing up, and there were explosions, and there was things flying, and it was pretty darn cool for the time. I mean, it's pretty dated now. And what was the South Park guys, Trey and is it Matt? Those guys liked it so much they did that. What was it? America, F you, F yeah. What the hell was that movie? But they based that movie on that Super Marionation stuff. Basically, they're marionettes, but they, I guess they have magnets in their mouth or in their jaw, and that helps their mouths move back and forth. So it's kind of like whoever's doing the puppetry is like sending signals to the magnet, like either activating it or not. So that's how you get the back and forth, like mouth movement and stuff. So that stuff was pretty groundbreaking at the time. And so it inspired that Matt and Trey to do that. Let me see in the chat if you guys help me with the name here. Let's see. Fireball XL5, yes. All right, the chat is heating up. You guys are on fire. Boop, 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 boop. Oh yeah, when the phone is on autocorrect. Yeah, don't worry about it, man. I do that all the time, and I don't have the excuse of a phone. It just took me a minute to figure out what you're talking about. So my bad. Albino Thunderbuns, we're gonna do something. Albino and I are gonna do something, some live streaming soon. He sent me a bunch of ideas. So I'm listening while I fight through the herds of shoppers at Costco. Thank you, Art, for helping me preserve my sanity. You are very much welcome. And don't forget to pick something up for your lady. They like those things. And I got something that I'm going to show you guys later that you can give to your lady. It's a Valentine's, Chrono Mechanics Valentine's. So if you actually backed one of the Chrono books, I already posted on the updates in Chrono Mechanics on the Indiegogo page what I'm going to show you guys. Hail the master. Yes, hail to me. Master of my own domain, as they say. How's Joe's Garage today? How's Joe's Garage today? Joe's Garage. Wasn't that like yeah, that was what's his name? Oh my gosh, Frank Zappa, right? Joe is in prison, one guitar poorer. I think that's what you're talking about. Not sure. Hey, RT Bear, Nighthawk Warriors in the chat, so you guys know it's going to get off the hook now because he's a celebrity here. He's a known celebrity in the chat. Yes, I think Fireball XL5 was the first. Yeah. Fireball XL5 was the British version that Thunderbirds was based off of. Yeah, it's the same people. They made a bunch of shows. But yeah, I think Fireball was the first. Yeah, Fireball predated Thunderbirds by a few years. Exactly. Draw stream. Doing full page today? You got it, Mary Needlepoint. Sure do. Yeah, it was Frank Zappa. Yeah, I don't know what happened yesterday. I don't know what happened, but I sure as hell know my Frank Zappa. So Frank Zappa, 1981. Those were good years. Joe's Garage was Frank's first call out. Cool. So what I asked what that movie was. It wasn't Tropic Thunder. What was the movie that Trey and Matt did? Somebody help me. Should I type it in? Maybe I should type it in. I should do this for myself. Let me see. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Let's see what comes up. Okay, that's not it. Okay, let's see. Puppets. Let's see what happens here. Okay, it's Team America. Yeah, Team America. F yeah. There you go. You guys are faster than I am. Team America, World Police, the movie that gave Janine Garofalo a temper tantrum. F yeah. Oh, this is funny. I didn't see this. Okay, so yeah, you guys were World Police. Chat knows the answer. Boomer. Yeah. Okay. Maybe I didn't scroll far enough. I am a boomer. I wear it like a badge of honor. Ooh, that was my stomach. Team America World Police. Yes. All right. So yeah, they were inspired. So the thing is, man, no matter what your vision is, do it to the best of your ability, and you know it connects, man. It resonates with people, and you know you can inspire others. Because we never would have got that fantastic Team America movie if it wasn't for Fireball XL 7 or 5 or whatever it is. XL5. That's a mouthful, man. Numbers and letters, not my thing. America. Yeah, I saw some behind the scenes thing on them trying to get those puppets to behave. Yeah, I think they got way more than they bargained for on that. on that movie. But I think after a while, that Matt and Trey embraced it, and they were just like, well, this is what it is. So it's some silly stuff. So we'll just treat it as such. It's not high art. Although those guys, man, I really applaud them for their cojones. Those guys actually take on a lot of stuff, and I think they do it with as much integrity and honesty as they can, And I like when they get called out, and it's like, oh, you're anti this or you're whatever. And they're like, no, we don't hate anybody. We make fun of everybody. And I think that's, if you can't laugh at yourself, then I think we're doomed. And when I say ourselves, I mean like all of us. And I know it's hard. It's not always easy for me either, but I think it's a goal to shoot for. And, entertainment used to kind of hold a mirror up and say, isn't this silly? And now with the PC police and everything, you say something and you're going to get crucified for it. I can't, this is the part I have a problem with, that I don't understand why people are like that, or think that that's a good idea, to censor people or to tell them what they can say and what they can't say. Because, it's like, you might think you're on the winning side and that you're going to control somebody's speech. But what happens that one day you wake up and somebody decides what you said they don't like, and then they shut you down. Like, it's a really dangerous proposition, man. It's you might think that they're gonna, the government or whoever is gonna shut down the right people. Oh, those people are bad, we're gonna shut them down. But once you shut their speech down, guess what? Your speech is going to be challenged after that as well. And then they're going to come for you and they're going to shut you down. People don't understand that, but they need to understand that. You give that kind of power to an entity, a government, a people, they will abuse it. Yeah. It's a fact. It's human nature. And that's just the reality of it. I had somebody the other day, I guess it was on a EVS stream, and I think it was EVS and Narwhal, and I don't remember if there was anyone else and on the thing, and they used the C word, like a C dumpster, I guess is the word. And so they said that, and I don't know the context. I didn't watch the show. I watched part of it, but I didn't watch the whole thing. So I had people coming up to me and wanting me to take action on the fact that Narwhal on this show had said or used that word. And I was like, what do you want me to do? And they said, we want you to make a public announcement. Like, they wanted me to denounce the fact that Narwhal had used that word. They actually wanted me to come out publicly and denounce that action. And the thing is, one, I'm not I'm not everybody's daddy. I'm not the thought police. I'm not that. It's not my job to say those things. And I think the reason their reasoning was that the reason I was supposed to do this thing is because I hired Narwhal to color Chrono Mechanics. So therefore, somehow I had responsibility to wrangle him of what he thought and what he said. just because he was coloring a book for me. I don't know anything about that guy. All I know is that, I liked his coloring and I wanted to give him some work, help the guy out, employ him. He was working out a sandwich shop. I wanted to help him, and he does good work. So, I did that. And so because I said that, I'm sorry, you guys, the phone's ringing and I'm trying to ink and do all the stuff at the same time. It's probably my family saying, the cat's all right. He made it through. But anyway, yeah, I thought it was really weird that they wanted me to, oh my gosh, it's still ringing. I'm going to see if it will stop, because I hope it's nothing bad. A stupid cat. Yeah, they're not leaving a message. My family doesn't leave a message. We have an answering machine. They don't leave a message. They never do. But yeah, so yeah, they wanted me. I don't know what they wanted me to say. Like if they wanted me to fire. Oh, that's what they wanted me to do. Yeah, they did want me to make a public announcement, and they wanted me to fire Narwhal because he said this thing that they didn't like. And the problem there is, like, you can say whatever you want in our amendment right. We can say what we want, but at the same time, there is a responsibility that if you say something and you piss somebody off, then they get a chance to speak out as well. So if you know what, I got to take this, you guys. Hold on, talk amongst yourself. It's still ringing. I gotta go. Hello? Yes. Okay. Yeah, sure. Sounds good. No, I'm good. Yeah, I'm doing a live stream right now. Yeah, I'm doing a live stream. That's no problem. All right, bye. Oh my gosh, you guys, sorry about that. That was crazy. That was nutty. Yeah, so anyway, the thing is, this is all fundamental stuff, you guys. Like, I can't believe we're even having these conversations. It's absurd, but the thing is, if I did what this guy or this group of people wanted me to do, then wouldn't the same rules apply to them? Like if they all of a sudden decided that, or we decided that we didn't like something that they said, and then we called out like, oh, we want you fired because we didn't like what you said, then that's a scary place, man. That is a scary place. If somebody says something, that you don't like, then I don't know, speak out against it, but don't call out for somebody to be fired. Don't call out for somebody for that stuff to happen. That's absurd, man. Like, even if somebody says something you don't like, tough, deal with it. You're probably going to say something somebody doesn't like at some point in your life too. You don't walk on water. So don't be a hypocrite. Somebody says something and then, you're going to be the thought police or the good taste police, and then you're going to get them fired, or you want them fired, because they said something that hurt your feelings or that you didn't like. And the thing is, I reached out to one of those guys and I said, you know, I'm not the thought police. I'm not that guy. So I can't really shut this guy down. And then he said like, well, uh, if he said that about your wife, like, is your wife okay with that? Like, is she okay with that terminology? Is she fine with that? And then I was just like, listen, dude, I'm not cool with it. I don't talk like that, you know. And I might say things that are off the cuff, and I might say things that are rude at times, but I try to keep that in private. I don't let that be my public persona, um, you know. But like, he's bringing my wife into it, and then it's like, I don't know. I guess what he was going with is like, you don't. I'm really bad at this stuff. So he's saying, I think what he was trying to get me to do is he wanted me to get so riled up that I did something, that I fired Narwhal or whatever. And so I just told him, I said, I don't talk like this. I don't like that terminology. I'm not cool with it either. So I thought we'd find some kind of common ground, right? Like I would, hey, yeah, I that language is whatever, but people are free to say whatever they want. I don't really care. Personally, I don't care, because it doesn't insult me. When a stranger says something I don't like, I don't give a shit. I don't care. They don't mean anything to me. They don't affect my life. They don't. It's just something they say. So I'll just go, oh, that person's a no class whatever, or I'll think whatever to myself. But I don't necessarily feel the need like, oh, you know what? I got to shut that guy up. I got to stop that person from saying that. That's absurd. That's crazy. Asking for blood, asking to hurt somebody financially, to do that. That's not cool at all. And so I tried to say that to the guy, and then he wanted nothing of it. He just wanted to be angry, and then he threatened. This one guy in particular threatened to. I guess he had backed Chrono Mechanics, and then he threatened to back out of the pledge. So I guess at this point, if that's what he wants to do, I can't stop him. I would rather he not do it, because I think that's what I said to him too. I said, when you do this, if you do that, you pull out of the campaign, you're not hurting Ethan and you're not hurting Narwhal. You're hurting me. Like, I had nothing to do with it. Why should I be responsible for what somebody else says? I think that's just wrong. It's pretty crazy, but that's how some people think, and they better hope that they never get what they truly say they want, which is some kind of PC culture, and for people to monitor language and what we say, because once we do, freedom of thought will go away, because you have to take the good and the bad. Like, I'll defend Narwhal's right to say what he said, and I'll defend the right of that guy that spoke out against me. I'll fight for that guy as well, because the thing is, we're in this together. So his rights are my rights and vice versa. So I don't see it as an us and them. I think that's retarded to even think about stuff that way. If it benefits one, it will benefit the other. And if somebody wants to say what they want to say, or use a certain word or words that you don't like, well, get over it, man, because I'll guarantee you at some point in time, you will piss somebody off by saying something that they don't like as well. So under your rules, the way you see things, then you would be crucified as well. So the best thing to do is to just let people say what they want to say, and then somebody else can speak out against them. But keep it fair. Don't go, I want them fired or whatever. Just have a debate, have a responsible conversation, a reasonable conversation with somebody. But don't automatically go, I want blood. Like that's crazy talk. That's not cool, man. So if I lose a backer or some backers over it, you know, I don't want that to happen. But if that happens, then, I guess that's the price I have to pay for freedom of speech. Yeah, I don't know. But that had me worried for the last couple of days. So I usually try to keep my nose clean, and I don't really get into too much of this stuff. So, and if you listen to my live streams, you'll know that. So thanks for letting me vent. It's just so weird to me because I am an older guy, and this used to be like normal thought. Like, it's his right to say what he wants. It's your right to say what you want. But you just kind of deal with it. You don't try to hurt that other person or go after them or get them fired, because this is the thing that has to stop, this getting people fired thing. You can devastate a human being by taking away their money. It's just like taking food out of their mouth. It's like making them homeless. That's a really extreme thing to call for, just because you were hurt by something that they said. That's not a reasonable response to what had happened there. You can say that person is whatever, whatever it is that you want to say they are, and that's fair. But asking somebody to fire somebody based on something that they said is absurd. It's a word too. It's not like it was even like, it wasn't like they were saying anything that was really, I guess controversial or wrong. It was just a terminology. I mean, some people, my wife doesn't like when somebody says GD. That's like, she can hear somebody say F you, but if somebody says GD, like, that sends her through the roof, and then she'll judge them harshly and kind. To her, that's the ultimate profanity. But she doesn't go, I want that person destroyed. I want that person fired. She just kind of goes along her business and thinks her thoughts, but, doesn't take action on it, because at the end of the day, that's how that person wants to express themselves. That's how they want to speak at that moment in time. And, there's nothing wrong with that. So thanks, you guys. That got a little heavy. I guess I had been thinking about it for a while. Yeah, this stuff, I take it, it kind of bugs me. I was going to say I take it to heart. I don't really, I think it just kind of blows my mind, because I know there are people like that, but it blows my mind in the sense that when it becomes a reality in your world, then you think, like, there really are people like that think those things. Yeah, I mean, it's his right to say what he said, and it's whoever's right to say what they said. There's no problem with it. It's only a problem when you try to shut that person's rights up to say what or express themselves the way they want to express themselves. It's pretty nutty cuckoo. So yeah, comic books. A fun little industry. Yeah, pretty weird. So yeah, my daughter like called several times, so I'm thinking, oh, it's important, right? It has something to do with the cat. And usually those phone calls are like, Dad, there's something wrong. You need to pay for it. That's usually how it goes. Um, but she just said, hey, can we pick you up some lunch? So that was nice. But it kind of stressed me out there. So I guess I have lunch coming, which is good. Man, I'm on this like cereal kind of thing for cholesterol, so I eat like Cheerios in the morning. I like Cheerios. They're okay, but man, I'm bored. I'm bored with the Cheerios. I want my eggs. I want my eggs and bacon back. It's not fair. Why did something so good hurt you? Why does all the good hurt you and all the bad is like, yeah, it's like, well, I guess all the bad is good. Like it's delicious. And then the opposite, it's, I guess, just the way the world is. I don't like it though. Apparently, I'm on the verge of high cholesterol. Apparently. I know sometimes I think it would be better just to be ignorant and never see the doctor, not knowing, because I don't know if this really extends her life or not. When it's your time, it's your time. I've been watching these documentaries. They're pretty good. I think I might do a waltz vault on them and go like try to do a deep dive, or as deep as I get. And one of them is it's a 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea documentary on the making of the movie, and it's really good. And then I saw one on of all movies, man, I forgot this movie even existed. It's called Swiss Family Robinsons, and it's kind of, I guess, Robinson Crusoe-ish, and it's about a shipwrecked family, and everything in that movie is practical. Like there's no real special effects. So there's like scenes in that movie that when you watch it, it has this reality in it that like contemporary movies do not have. Like you watch stuff now and you just go, oh, it's so slickly produced and it's so perfect that it almost loses its reality. But in this, there's a fight. There's a tiger that's on the island, and I guess the Robinsons have. Oh, you know what? I didn't go back to the camera. I'm sorry. But the Robinsons have these two dogs, and there's a scene where the two dogs fight this tiger. And the thing is, they said that they had the tiger, like he was kind of like his hind leg was tied. And so they basically just had these dogs confront this tiger, and they fight. They actually fight. These two dogs fight this tiger. They go at each other, and it's absolutely insane looking, because there's no way this stuff would happen today. There's no way that filmmakers would do something like that. But you talk about a visceral like scene. Holy shit. Like, you're watching it and you really don't know how it's going to turn out. Like, you're watching this scene, and you're like, you know, is that tiger gonna kill those dogs? And so then I guess the trainers or whoever, the filmmakers, decide that the dog has had enough. The dogs have had enough, and I guess they call them in their own way off, the tiger, and so the dogs run away. And holy crap, man, it is so intense. Like, I just saw it, like, just like a quick little clip of it, and I was like, wow. That would not happen today. There's just absolutely no way that something like that would happen. And it felt, I mean, it felt real because it was real. Those dogs were actually going after that tiger. I need my thicker nib here. Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. And it looked amazing. Like, that's what you go to cinema for, right? To see stuff that you don't get to see. You don't get to see dogs fighting a tiger, man. You don't get to see that. But you did here, and it was pretty incredible. And then some of the behind the scenes stuff, they were talking that at one point there's a turtle, like a sea turtle, and it tows the Robinsons like raft in. I guess there's a shipwreck, and so it tows them into shore. And they said that they just found that turtle because they were on a beach filming. I don't know if you guys know the backstory, but it's a shipwrecked family, and they're on an island, basically, kind of Gilligan's Island kind of thing. And so I guess one of the handlers or one of the people there on the island wrangled in this turtle, and so they thought it would be cool. They harnessed. This is a wild turtle. This is a sea turtle. They harnessed it, and then they had it tow the ship, their little raft in. But that's a real turtle. It's not like a stunt turtle that they brought in from, Hollywood. It's a turtle from that island, and they figured out how to do it, and it tows them in. And it's crazy. And you see these scenes, these behind the scenes of them even filming that stuff. They're real waves. There's real rocks. That family is on that raft. It's not, I mean, there were stunt people in the movie, but in a lot of those scenes, it's those guys. It's those actual people doing these things. And there's one scene where I guess they have this race, and so there's all these like wild animals that they've befriended on the island. And so they're going to have a race, and each one has their animal that they're going to, get on back of and have this race. And so the actors are talking about this, and they didn't know what those animals were going to do. and they're running, and the animals are going all in different directions because they really didn't know direction. they they were animals, and they were just doing whatever animals do. And so I guess one of the animals threw the female actress and one of the guy characters, and they were just like, yeah, it threw us. And they were just like, okay, it wasn't that big of a deal to them. It was just like, oh well. And so there's one guy, and he fights with a python or whatever those things are called in the water, and he's talking about how unnerving that was. It was just great. It was interesting because it wasn't like, oh, we're going to blue screen this or we're going to digitize that. I mean, all that stuff was practical. It was in the camera. Like, old school filmmaking like that was definitely like a cool adventure. Like, those guys, it looked adventuresome. It looked crazy on the camera because it was real. And then the other one is this show called The Scarecrow, and I think it was a TV show, but there's a documentary on that as well. I saw that Walter Simonson posted about that show, and then Graham, I guess his name Graham Nolan. He, I said, yeah, I'm watching that stuff right now on YouTube, and then or I'm watching it now, and then Graham was like, "Where are you watching it?" And I told him it's up on YouTube. He's like, "Cool, thanks." So I guess there's a lot of closeted fans of that show. Well, I got my lunch. My lunch is here. Okay. So here's what I've been working on. Here's the ship. Pretty cool ship. And then here's our mechanics. So sorry about the tangent that I went on and the phone call. I guess life happens, right? So I'm going to catch up on the chat because, man, I wanted to talk more about this stuff because you guys always have great insight on these things. Oh my gosh, there's a bunch of people in here. So yeah, I'll probably do a show on those things, like a Waltz Vault. Chrono Mechanics retrofit. They do more before the dawn of time than most people do all day. Thank you for the shout out. That's very cool of you, Arthur Brown. Oh my gosh, we have a Sticky Wicked. We have Slick Rick. We have Kiz. I don't know how to say your name, man. We have Cam 1138. Eggs are good for you hippie lies. Yeah, I do eat them on occasion. I just don't eat as many because they are an excellent source of protein, and my doctor told me so. But I do have to start backing off on some of that stuff. Mary Needlepoint says venting is good. Thank you. I do appreciate that. I try to keep things pretty close to the vest. Try not to say too much, but I just think it's really weird when people actively try to hurt somebody or to destroy them, especially based on something that somebody said. Like it's a term. Like if I said, the F word, or something that somebody didn't want, then they're going to, try to destroy me or whatever. I think that it's just not a reasonable response. Sounds like they're talking about the whole comic book hut. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know, what it's all about. Yeah. So family comes first. Thank you. And then, yeah, guilt by association, connect enough lines. And we are all, oh my gosh, that was awesome. That was well said. Guilt by association, connect enough lines, and we are all guilty. Wow, that's like poetry. Oh, thank you. I'm going to come down and eat, but I'll bring it down with me.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
No big.
Joke time. Yeah, you guys don't want to hear me chomping in the microphone here. Okay, so I think I'm caught up. Let's go to the movie talk. F word like Frito. Hail Art, looking forward to your comic book. Thank you. Wild tangents are the best. I always say that, man. Tangents are the best. That's where life gets interesting. You have point A and point B, or point A, point B planned out. And then what makes life interesting is the tangents when you go off on different paths. For right or wrong, wife beckons you. Yes, she did. I don't know what Comic Book Hut said. I don't really know the detail of what happened. And why they used the terminology that they did, but it's fine. I defend it. You want to use whatever words, that's fine, man. It's freedom of speech. You want to speak out against it, that's freedom of speech. I defend both sides. However, don't cross the line and don't start wanting, blood. Don't say people need to be fired. That's where it gets crazy. That is where it gets crazy. Yeah. When you watch, I'll like I said, I will do the show, and when I do, I'll put the links in the chat so you guys can check out the documentaries and stuff. Yeah, I don't know how those movies. I didn't watch the whole movie. I just watched the documentaries, but I do remember as a kid, I saw 20,000 Leagues in the Sea. I thought it was incredible, just incredible. When you watch the behind the scenes stuff, you guys it'll blow your mind what they were attempting to do. And when they did it, it was mind blowing, absolutely mind blowing. It's filmmaking, just like clever and inspired filmmaking. And then that Swiss Family Robinsons is it's just reality, man. It's like animals. It's an island. It's survival. It actually, it doesn't feel like gritty, but when you watch the behind, you know what, I should back up. I don't remember what the movie was. I don't think it's as gritty as this documentary, because the documentary, they're talking about how dangerous it was to do this stuff. So I'm sure that the movie seems pretty safe, but the making of behind the scenes stuff, it was pretty darn intense. So I don't really remember that movie that well. I remember seeing it as a kid and liking it, but I don't really know how it holds up. And then that Scarecrow of Romney Marsh is based on a novel, and I think that thing has some history, and I'll get into that. I believe it was one of the first kind of vigilante type stories. So there's a documentary that puts it in like a historical perspective and things. So that idea was pretty groundbreaking and pretty inspiring. So I will do that for a future show. But right now, like the rest of this week, I'm going to finish up Chrono Mechanics, you guys. All the line art will be done by week's end. So that is pretty amazing. I'm really, really happy with it. Render and I have been killing ourselves trying to get this book done. And yeah, it's moving along really, really well. Oh, you know what? Maybe I'll have to come back. I had some stuff I wanted to show you guys, but I'm gonna go eat. So maybe I'll do a stream later and catch up with you guys. So Swiss Family Robinson still holds up. Yeah, well, cool. I am definitely gonna see it again, because the behind the scenes thing, the making of, looked pretty incredible. Yeah, I pretty much was in my in the silent film era. I remember when they had an orchestra that would play along.
you know, and you had to read all the subtitles and everything. It was, you know, good times, good times. Actually, going back, I think that Phantom of the Opera, the Lon Chaney black and white, I think that was a silent movie. That thing is really, really incredible. That is well done. Um, it just it's pretty inspiring. I saw a behind the scenes thing on that as well. Just the makeup effects and some of those stunts, just incredible. There's one where the stagecoach flips over, like this horses are like running, and the stagecoach flips over, and Lon Chaney is actually, that's him in the stagecoach as it flips over, and he goes flying out. That's him. I think he leaps off of the top of it, but the documentary said that that was him. Incredible, just incredible, and just the effects and stuff that he was doing to his face is pretty amazing. Oh man, I could have used you, Kevin. I could have used you earlier on. We were talking about all the super marionation stuff and the Thunderbirds, because I know you know all the Thunderbird numbering. So I was trying to remember what the transport. I think I always say it's Thunderbird 4, but I think you corrected me. But anyways, you guys, I'm going to take off and eat my food before it gets cold. Yeah, Kirk Douglas, man, R.I.P. And that Whale of a Tale, that song he sings, it's actually pretty good. It's pretty entertaining. We got it in before. See, I always say 4, but it's Thunderbird 2. Thunderbird 2, which is the green ship with the transport bays in it. Love those designs. Love those designs. Enjoy your lunch. I will, you guys. So just want to touch base, just let you guys know I'm still out there. I haven't been YouTubing as much as I wanted to, but it's because I want to get this book done and into your hands as soon as possible. So thanks, everybody. Enjoy your lunch, and I'll see you soon.